it is hard to believe that a year has passed since the establishment of Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program. So today my presentation will focus on Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program, a year and review. I would like to divide my talk into two parts. The first part will be review of the Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program, and part two will discuss the future perspective of Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program. So I will speak the first part in Chinese because Dr. Yuanang and Ms. Guan Weiwei taught me. That's why to repay them, I'd like to speak in Chinese. The second part in English with translation by Dr. Yuanang and Guan Weiwei, because every time they translate my English slide into Chinese, okay? Any questions? Probably some of you didn't understand. That's why
很难相信，距离河南省肿瘤医院薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的建立已经过去了1年。今天我的演讲将聚焦于薪火相传 Mentoring Program。我将把我的演讲分为2个部分。第一部分将是对薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的回顾。第二部分将讨论薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的未来展望。第一部分我将用中文演讲，第二部分我将用英文演讲，由袁航医生和管维维女士提供中文翻译。因为在我的讲座结束后，我们将进行问答环节，请将您的问题留在问答环节。
Okay, we are going to have a Q&A session and award session at the end of my presentation. So please hold your questions until the Q&A session. 自从李天霄教授邀请我2004年第一次邀请我来郑州以来，我每9年来到郑州一次。我想分享我2013年为期6周的第2次访问经历。这是李天霄教授，曹光孝教授安排了我的讲座。总的来说，我在河南省人民医院和河南省肿瘤医院共进行了2次演讲，并组织了 Authorship Conference。这是曹光孝教授，这是李天霄教授，这是我的名字。这是一个 Authorship Conference 的例子，是王美云教授写的文稿。我仍然记得他在写论文方面是多么的热情主动。他的文稿受到了 radiology。在告别晚会上，李天霄教授和李海亮教授请我退休后来郑州继续担任教授教学。我的回答是不，我不想。有2个原因，一个是严重的空气污染，另一个是你们团队的英语水平不足以沟通。李海亮教授回答说，5年后空气污染会好得多。从明天开始，我将去英语学校学英语，所以请你退休后回到这里。6年后，我再次在中国遇到了李海亮教授，他告诉我 郑州的空气比6年前好得多。自从我访问他的语言以来，他一直在学习英语。我认真的请教他的医院担任教授，这就是我决定重返郑州的原因。我的最佳学员之一胡洪涛教授也在那里。我意识到拥有很多热心医生的郑州可以成为我的家。我已经在河南省肿瘤医院的介入科工作1年。我发现我的同事们非常乐意学习英语和新知识。李海亮教授是一位可敬的领导。我在郑州为总共46名医务人员设立了一个计划，名为薪火相传 Mentoring Program， 这有6个使命。这是薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的1年的时间表。从每周3上午9点开始，我会主持3个小时的会议。今天也开始的9点。你可以看到，我们已经召开了多次的 Authorship Conference， 以及多次的科学论文演讲。我们能为 Authorship Conference 做什么？这是一个例子。这是刘聪医生，这是你。这是他写的文稿，我给了他整体性的评论，包括可能目标期刊、问题和建议，以及修改他的文稿的题目。在这里你可以看到我重写了他的1年部分。他的材料与方法和结果部分写得很好，可是他的讨论部分需要进行重大修改。因为文稿的数量越来越多，8个月前我开始领导越南医生，领导 Authorship Conference， 这是越南医生。这有6个技巧和一本书，叫怎么领导 Authorship Conference。越南医生已经成功的接替了我的职位，我为他成为我的继任者感到无比自豪。我相信他会成功的将其传递给下一代，像薪火一样传承下去。我们能为科学论文演讲做什么？这是一个例子。管伟伟老师是一名矿石技师，他的文稿被一些接受。他今年2月1日让我教他在ECR上怎么发表他的文稿。我为他排练。今年2月15日，然后我将他的20分钟的幻灯片和文稿修改了10分钟，并为他录了音。让我们听听我的录音的前的20秒。 Thank you, Dr. Florian Wolf, for your kind introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'd like to talk about cone beam CT with celiac arteriography versus contrast-enhanced MRI in the diagnosis of hepatocellular carcinoma. This is a single-center retrospective study. 由于我不是英语母语者，所以我让我的美国朋友 Edbeck 修改我的文稿，然后用他的声音录下来。
Thank you, Dr. Wolf, for your kind introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'd like to talk to you about cone beam CT during celiac arteriography versus contrast-enhanced MRI in the diagnosis of hepatocellular carcinoma. This is a single-center retrospective study.
管委委老师于今年3月2日在UCL成功发表演讲。我们正在于广东省人民医院、天津医科大学中医院、韩国的理化大学、峨山医院、美国的德克萨斯大学合作研究。韩国的 SNG 公司积极参与这项研究。我希望我的转化研究能在郑州开花结果。我们已经建立了小龙疗法为指导联盟，为我的学员提供了登上国际舞台的机会。该联盟每年在9月的第一个星期六在郑州举行。通过这个联盟，他们可以学习如何建立全球网络，并建立人脉。这是薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的未来计划，包括短期、中期、长期计划。以我对中国过去30年发展的了解，我相信中国将在未来30年内引领世界医学研究。我认为我们的 Mentoring Program 将发挥主导作用。这是第一个部分。我想继续第二部分，薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的未来展望，好吗？从现在我开始说英语，这个非常难。黄进士教授，你听得懂我的说的汉语100%几
Almost.
It's better than Professor Li Tianxiao. Okay. Anyway, I'll continue in English. This is the second part, future perspective. So this is a timetable designed by Dr. Yuanang and Zheng Bingjie for next year. Here you can see there are many sessions for Authorship Conference. So Dr. Yuanang will lead the Authorship Conference.
袁航医生已经为明年制定了一个时间表，在这里你可以看到许多的 Authorship Conference 会议。他告诉我，他计划指导4到6个人，使他们成为他的 Mentees。
Okay, this manuscript written by Dr. Liang Jia and Professor He Yinggun was accepted by a high impact factor. So Dr. Yuanang and Dr. Xu Shizhen provided excellent revisions.
由梁家博士和贺迎坤教授撰写的文稿已被一家高影响因子的 SCI 期刊接收。 袁航医生和徐世军博士提供了出色的修订。
Okay, regarding the presenting scientific papers, I pass the torch of leading the presentation of scientific papers in English to Dr. Zheng Bingjie. Dr. Zheng Bingjie is, you can say hello to everyone. And also, I asked Dr. Zheng Bingjie to collaborate with Ms. Guan Weiwei and Ms. Zhang Weizheng and Dr. Xu Shijun in leading the program. I also request them to include the instructions on how to pronounce unfamiliar sound. Dr. Zheng Bingjie corrected Dr. Zhang Dongyang's pronunciation, right? And like minor, not minor, conclusion or something like that. So that is very important. Guan Weiwei will lead the pronunciation. And also write emails in English using my books, because emails is very important. So Ms. Zhang Weizheng will lead the using the how to write the email. Okay, I realized that this decision could help Dr. Zheng Bingjie achieve a boost ranging from +1 alpha to 10 alphas, or even more through collaboration with them.
我将领导英语科学论文演讲的职责交给了郑斌杰医生，并请他与管维维老师、张卫征老师和徐世军博士共同负责该项目。我还要求他们用我的书籍指导如何发音，以及如何用英语写电子邮件。我认识到这个决定可以帮助郑博士通过与其他人的合作，带来从+1阿尔法到+10阿尔法甚至更多的提升机会。
Regarding the global networking, the global networking includes visiting program, international affiliated department program, and international conference program. I believe that Professor Chen Xuejun and Professor Hu Hongtao will assume my position within the next 4 years.
全球网络包括访问项目、国际附属部门项目和国际会议项目。我相信陈学军教授和胡洪涛教授将在接下来的4年内接任我的职务。
So I'd like to review Professor Chen Xuejun's recording explaining his plan for the global networking on October 18th of this year.
让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，陈学军教授的计划于今年10月18日录制。
It doesn't work. That's it.
让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。
No.
然后是胡洪涛教授的计划，于今年11月15日录制。
It works.
Today,
Why
I'm
it
glad
didn't
to
work?
present my plan for the
It's too
ablation
small.
therapy and mental
Can you make it
balance
louder?
we call ATMA. I'm Dr. Hu from the
This
Department
is
of
Professor Hu
International
Hongtao's recording explaining his future.
The third ATMA, with the support of Professor Song, was a resolving success. Despite challenging circumstances, over 80 participants, including doctors, nurses, technicians, and biologists from various departments, actively engaged in our meeting. 10 speakers delivered lectures, and more than 20 mentees participated in discussion section. In the afternoon, 3 foreign professors visit our department, providing guidance on basic experiments and fostering valuable international connections. Looking ahead, organizing the next ATMA conference is our priority. Thanks to Professor Song, we have insights from the Society of Gastrointestinal Intervention on conference organization. We will announce the committee formation, establish the conference bureau, and set up an academic committee responsible for speakers' recommendations. Determine section details is crucial, including the numbers of speakers, topics, and the speech time. The fourth ATMA is scheduled for September 7, 2024, at the Yellow River Hotel in Zhengzhou, Henan Province. The conference will be conducted in English and organized by Professional Committee of Tumor Ablation Therapy of the Chinese Anti-Cancer Association.
Okay, we can have a 5-minute break. And Professor Chen Xuejun's lecture was excellent, so I will try to get it back. You can have a 5-minute break. 5分钟休息。Dr. Yuan, can you come? Why it doesn't work? 是吗？是。
让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，
in foreign land for a long time to study.
Yeah.
At the
全球网络包括访问项目。让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，陈学军教授的计划于今年10月18日录制。
Thank you, Professor Song, for introduction. Dear Professor Song, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. This is my first time to deliver a
Okay, thank you. Okay, sure. Thank you.
让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，陈学军。
Thank you, Professor Song, for introduction. Dear Professor Song, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. This is my first time to deliver a speech in English, and I'd like to express my gratitude to Professor Song for granting me this opportunity. When Yuan Han called me, if I could give an English speak, I hesitated for a moment. I said, I'm afraid I could not. I felt that my English might not be so well to speak fluently because I'd never been foreign land for a long time to study. At the beginning of this year, I could only understand about 70 to 80% of spoken English. So I sit very close to Professor Song to hear more clearly and even observe his limbs movements. I've made significant progress and now I can understand over 90%, but a few times I still struggle with. I will turn to Professor Chen Hongtao and Li Jing for guidance. So I'd like to thank Professor Chen Hongtao and Li Jing for their helps. Dear colleagues, you are very fortunate to have encountered Professor Song at a young age to guide you in learning English and writing scientific papers. I'd like to thank Professor Song for being here and Professor Li Hailiang for making the right decision. In the coming years, I aim to work even harder to improve my English skills, just like Professor Li Hailiang. Regarding atom, I wholeheartedly agree with Professor Song's suggestion. I believe that extending the duration of full day is a good idea. Additionally, I have few more suggestions regarding the contents. 1. Consider further subdividing tumors within each organ. For example, in the case of lung tumors, they can be categorized as metastatic lung tumors, primary lung cancers, and primary lung cancers can be further divided into solid and ground glass lung cancers. 2. Delve into the selection process for different ablation methods, such as chiral ablation, radiofrequency ablation, and microwave ablation. 3. Emphasize the importance of guidelines in clinical practice. Lectures on guidelines for tumor ablation treatments are crucial. Comparing and contrasting international guidelines as well as those from various countries can provide valuable insights. If there are no existing guidelines for particular tumor ablation treatment,
Okay, we can continue. So fortunately, we made it.
让我们回顾一下他们解释他们的计划的录音。首先，陈学军教授的计划于今年10月18日录制。
Thank you, Professor Song, for introduction. Dear Professor Song, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all.
Try to understand.
This is my first time to deliver a speech in English, and I'd like to express my gratitude to Professor Song for granting me this opportunity. When Yuan Han called me, if I could give an English speak, I hesitated for a moment. I said, I'm afraid I could not. I felt that my English might not be so well to speak fluently because I'd never been foreign land for a long time to study. At the beginning of this year, I could only understand about 70 to 80% of spoken English. So I sit very close to Professor Song to hear more clearly and even observe his limbs movements. I've made significant progress and now I can understand over 90%, but a few times I still struggle with. I will turn to Professor Chen Hongtao and Li Jing for guidance. So I'd like to thank Professor Chen Hongtao and Li Jing for their helps. Dear colleagues, you are very fortunate to have encountered Professor Song at a young age to guide you in learning English and writing scientific papers. I'd like to thank Professor Song for being here and Professor Li Hailiang for making the right decision. In the coming years, I aim to work even harder to improve my English skills, just like Professor Li Hailiang. Regarding atom, I wholeheartedly agree with Professor Song's suggestion. I believe that extending the duration of full day is a good idea. Additionally, I have few more suggestions regarding the contents. 1. Consider further subdividing tumors within each organ. For example, in the case of lung tumors, we can be categorized as metastatic lung tumors, primary lung cancers, and primary lung cancers can be further divided into solid and ground glass lung cancers. 2. Delve into the selection process for different ablation methods, such as cryoablation, radiofrequency ablation, and microwave ablation. 3. Emphasize the importance of guidelines in clinical practice. Lectures on guidelines for tumor ablation treatments are crucial. Comparing and contrasting international guidelines as well as those from various countries can provide valuable insights. If there are no existing guidelines for a particular tumor ablation treatment, we could discuss certain expert consensus. 4. Emphasize the importance of radiological response assessment during the ablation therapy within the ATOM program. Consider including dedicated lectures or segments in a schedule that focus on how to evaluate treatment effectiveness using radiological image. This could significantly enhance our understanding and clinical practice. 5. I support for Professor Song's idea of involving specialized doctors in the discussion segment. It's essential to prepare questions in advance and allow the audience opportunities to ask questions. Regarding the Authorship Conference, Professor Song has already outlined short, medium, and long-term plans, which I fully endorse. I have one small suggestion, which is to include a feedback session. This year, we've made revision to 17 manuscripts. After making these revisions, it would be beneficial to establish certain expectations, such as how long it would take to finalize the changes and submit the manuscript. Additionally, it would be valuable to discuss the outcomes of these submissions, whether they are accepted or rejected, and any modification suggestions provided by peer reviewers. Thank you once again, Professor Song, for your guidance and support, and especially thank Dr. Zheng Mingjie's help. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any questions or comments? Excellent lecture. Excellent lecture. Is too loud. Congratulations. Excellent. Your first lecture is perfect. So, Professor Chen Xuejun, please share your experience. That is really excellent. Even though it is not first one, the content is good. Also, your pronunciation is good. So, I am very happy to witness your progress. You can make it lower.
这个I speak in Chinese. I speak in Chinese.
Either Chinese or English will be okay. Yeah, Chinese, of course.
这第一次演讲啊，确实比较困难。一个是演讲的内容，更重要的是这个宋教授布置的任务，就是怎么样提高我们的这个 ATMA 的学术水平。我觉得这个是最难的。我里面的那些内容更难。说英语可能还是次要的，因为把它写成中文以后，我让冰洁给我翻译成英文以后呢，我练几遍就可以了，关键是里面的内容可能就还要更难准备里面的内容怎么样提高这个咱们的这个学术的这个开会的怎么样去开会，怎么样提高学术水平，我觉得难在这儿这是我们这一次这个第一次演讲的难点。谢谢。
Okay. As Professor Chen Xuejun is the president of ATMA, he is a good example for everybody. You can learn from him how he made such kind of wonderful first lecture in English. It's impossible almost, but anyway, he made it, right? So you are a good example. Thank you very much. 你是一个很好的模范。Okay.
然后是
So, as you know, the translational research is the heart of the Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program and has a long way to go. Dr. Yuanang will lead the 5 translational research project every Thursday for 2 hours, accommodating 15 people, 15 people, including Dr. Chao from Guangdong Renmin Yuan and Tianjin 医科大学中医院。
转化研究是薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的核心，前方还有漫长的道路。袁航医生每周将领导5个转化研究项目，每次为期2个小时，包括15人。
And where is Dr. Chen Yao? Okay, this is patent applications and international collaborative research are important for protecting and enhancing our effort. Dr. Chen Yao has already initiated 2 projects. One involves applying for a patent related to the magic catcher. This is magic catcher with balloons. We have developed this one. So anyway, our goal was that to apply for patent 1 in this year, but we made it. And the other entails conducting an international multi-center study on an MRI-based radiomics model in collaboration with Professor Takaki and Professor Sato in Japan. This is wonderful because we invited Dr. Takaki and Dr. Sato to ATMA. And also I asked Dr. Chen Yao, I still remember his manuscript was excellent at the Authorship Conference. So I gave him comment, but I forgot, but he made it connection. He asked me to introduce Professor Takaki and Sato. So they are doing some international grant. It is just the beginning. So we can make together with the institute in the United States, in Europe. So Chen Yao will be a good initiator for these 2 projects. Dr. Chen Yao, can you share your experience, either in English or Chinese? It's good. Thank you so much.
Can I speak Chinese?
Yeah.
首先谢谢非常感谢宋教授给我们这么好的一个平台，然后认识了很多国外的专家，给咱们提供了很多的机会， 与国外的专家和国内的专家合作做一些事情，包括一些研究或者一些基础性的实验转化的研究。我觉得这么宝贵的机会，大家可以抓住，然后为单位，也为这个转化会议做一些事情。好，谢谢大家。
Okay, anyway, the first application is difficult, but second one will be easier. So we can apply many grant proposal and also patent proposals. First one is difficult. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, and then
专利申请和国际合作研究对于保护和增进我们的努力至关重要。陈瑶医生已经启动了2个项目，一个是申请与 Magical 导管相关的专利，另一个是与日本的 Takaki 教授和 Sato 教授合作进行基于 MRI 的放射组学模型的国际多中心研究。
Also, Dr. Shishijun has been and will continue to mentor and motivate my mentees to apply for grant proposals, which are crucial aspects of research. Dr. Shishijun also explained how to apply for the grant. Also, she helps everyone to apply for grant. So her position is very important. I really thank her contribution. Dr. Shishijun, please share your experience. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Give me this opportunity. Also, my experience is very limited, but I will do my best to share with all of you which you want to apply for the patent, the grant. In our department, Dr. Professor Hu is the best one, and because he is very busy, so this burden is now transferred to me. But I will ask him and many other colleagues to work together to make our grant proposal more and more better. And we want to apply more and more grant for our research. I believe because it's just a beginning, I believe we will have a brilliant future with the support of the Professor Song and many other professors like Professor Wu Gang or from other hospital. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. And then
徐世军博士一直并将继续指导和鼓励我的学生申请国内和国际的资助提案，这是研究中的关键要素。
So I hope to establish a robust foundation with Dr. Yuanang and Shishijun to pave the way for this translational research program to produce a Nobel Prize winning scholar within the next century. Actually, Nobel Prize is not that difficult, but we need to invest time and money. So I guarantee 100 years from now, we can produce at least one Nobel Prize winner. So if we continue for 100 years, we can approach the in-depth research, which is very important. If one person do only one research, it lasts 30 years. But this kind of Xinhu Xiangchuan mentoring program to the next generation, eventually we can have some excellent result.
我希望能与袁航医生和徐世军博士建立坚实的基础，使这个转化研究计划在未来100年内培养出一位诺贝尔奖获得者。
As for the fifth mission of giving English lectures. You can see 13 lectures sessions for next year, starting from Professor Huang Tao on March 16.
至于英语讲座的第5个任务，您可以看到明年计划的总共13场讲座，从3月6日开始，由胡洪涛教授主讲。
To demonstrate how to give a talk in English, I personally taught Professor Li Hailiang and Professor He Ying-kun. Allow me to show you what I have done for them. You know that I used He Ying-kun's lecture before. That's why this time I'd like to use Professor Li Hailiang's lecture. As you know, Professor Li Hailiang gave a talk at the SNG TMC on September 9th of this year. That was his first lecture in English. The title was Precise Ablation of Liver Tumors, and also he conducted rehearsal on August 23rd of this year. It is same, He Ying-kun, I asked him to conduct a rehearsal at the mentoring program, so repeated several times.
为了演示如何用英语发表演讲，我亲自教授了李海亮教授和贺银坤教授。请允许我向您展示我为他们所做的工作。正如您可能已经了解的那样，今年9月23日，李海亮教授在 SNG 转化医学会议上发表了题为《肝肿瘤精准消融》的演讲。今年8月23日，他还为这个 Mentee Program 进行了排练。
Okay, let's review the recording for the first 3 minutes in Professor Li Hailiang's lecture at the SNG TMC. That was his first lecture in English.
让我们回顾他在 SNG 转化医学会议上的演讲录音的前3分钟。
Thank you, Dr. Cao Jiawei, for your kind of introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm Li Hailiang from the Henan Country Hospital in China. I would like to thank you, Professor Song and Professor Kang, for inviting me to this conference. I'm honored to be here today. I'd like to talk about the precise ablation of liver tumors. As you may know, tumor ablation is now a common curative treatment for liver tumors. The main goal is to completely remove the tumor while causing as little harm as possible to healthy tissues. During the ablation process, it is crucial to protect vital organs and ensure the tumor is fully removed, even in difficult locations, by using additional techniques. The method used to guide the ablation procedures usually include CT, MR, and ultrasound ablation device can be grouped into 4 categories: radiofrequency, microwave, cryoablation, and a nano knife. The Chinese guideline for the diagnosis and treatment of primary liver cancer suggests that for liver tumors situated beneath the liver capsule or in close proximity to the heart, diaphragm, gastrointestinal tract, or gallbladder, laparoscopic ablation, open ablation, or water ablation technique. What the other lesson techniques can be considered. Thanks to advancement in instrument and technology, we have effectively performed ablation treatments for high-risk location of liver cancer, resulting in favorable therapeutic outcome. In this first part, I will discuss liver tumors located beneath the liver parcel or protégé Homeric, along with the ablation treatment.
It's amazing, right? So Professor Li Hailiang and Professor Chen Xuejun are good model. So they are old, but they can make it. So everybody can make it. Since his lecture at the SNG-TMC, I've been sharing my experience with Professor Li Hailiang on how to improve his English communication skills. He comes to my office once a week, and then I know his good point and bad point in English communication skill. That's why I listened to his recording several times and then correct his pronunciation. Also, I have a dream of going on lecture trips with him and other mentees around the world, including Korea, Japan, the US, and Argentina. You know that we have 3 programs, visiting program, international department program. This is a second program. That means that we can make a team together, visiting an institute in Japan, in the States, University of Texas, Argentina, Buenos Aires, in Korea. And then that's why I taught you how to give a talk, because there is some standard. That's why if you want to give a talk, please listen to my lecture. Dr. Yuenang uploaded my lecture, how to give a talk in English, right? And then next year, we are going to listen to 13 lectures. I'll choose some of them and ask them to give a talk at SNG-TMC. After that, I will select some person to go to Japan first. Takakiwa Sato's University. They are making that kind of plan. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to learn.
自从他在 SNG-TMC 上的演讲以来，我一直在与他分享如何提高他的英语沟通技能的经验。我为见证他的热情和进步感到兴奋。我梦想与他和其他全球的学生一起进行演讲之旅，包括韩国、日本、美国和阿根廷。
As I announced before, we are going to have a Q&A session after this presentation. If you have any questions, please write down and please let me know. Regarding the multiplication, as you know, Professor Bai Wei-Xing and Professor Ho In-kun and Professor Li Tianxiao successfully conducted the Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program at Honan Provincial People's Hospital on April 28th.
很高兴得知白卫星教授和李天晓教授于今年4月28日在河南省人民医院成功开展薪火相传 mentoring program.
Their mentoring program is a little bit different from us. So every mentoring program has their own advantage. Professor Bai Wei-Xing, can you share your experience together with us? Probably some people want to conduct mentoring program in his or her department.
Okay. Excuse me, I have no more successful experience to share with you. As you know, the monitoring program in our hospital has a little bit difference from what happened here. To some degree, I admire what happened here. You have a powerful support from the president of your hospital and their dedicated contribution from Professor Song. And you have so many truly enthusiasm colleagues to participate the training course. However, I have a little bit of frustration with my experience. Anyway, with help and improve or correction from our attendees, I do believe this is a valuable and insightful experience. It's totally different any experience I have ever had. So I would determine to keep going on at least for the next year. So let's have. I hope I can keep going.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
From the beginning, you know, I met Professor Li Tianxiao because Professor Li Tianxiao asked me to set up the mentoring program in Henan Renmin Yuan. So I talked to him. Two people should collaborate together. Professor Wang Yuexing, Professor He Yinggun, they have their own advantage. So it's very important to do collaboration. Professor He Yinggun, would you please share your experience?
Thank you, Professor. Actually, the mentoring program in our hospital did not very well compared with the Henan province, Henan Cancer Hospital. Actually, because more the attendees are from other doctors, so they are busy, actually very busy. So another problem I think is that actually one goal of the attendees or the mentees there is to publish the paper, actually one paper. So next stage we will change some measures or ways. I hope I hope at least 1 to actually 4 papers can be published from them. We will help them from the draft to the publish all the course. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then also Professor Qu Jinlong started the Xinhuo Xiangchuan mentoring program together with 5 mentees at the Department of Radiology Henan Cancer Hospital and achieved complete success. Unfortunately, Professor Qu Jinlong couldn't join today, and she left a message. She tried to refuse the meeting, but she couldn't make it. That's why she couldn't join us, but she will review our mentoring program recording.
2023年5月8日，曲金荣教授在河南省肿瘤医院放射科与另外5名学员一起开展薪火相传 mentoring program， 并取得圆满成功。
So, you know, probably you remember this slide. Over the past 35 years in my academic life, I have had the privilege of mentoring over 2,000 individuals, actually more than 2,000, almost 3,000. Among them, 21 have become my mentees, signifying that my mentees have grown to become my mentors. So I realized that while mentoring these 21 mentees, we shared common missions. This is very important, common missions, and work together toward common goals we should have common missions, common goals. Now you understand what are our common goals and missions. We shared our wisdom to overcome challenges and celebrate our success together. Along the way, we learned from one another. So I believe that I have stayed here in Zhengzhou for 1 year. Sometimes it was difficult, sometimes it was not. But thanks to your cooperation, we have come a very long way. We can make it. I am confident. That's why this is a good example. So I reflected how I build a friendship with them.
在我过去的35年学术生涯中，我有幸指导了2000多名学员，其中有21人成为了我的 mentees。这意味着我的学生已经成长为我的导师。反思之后，我意识到，在指导这21名学员的过程中，我们分享了共同的使命，并一起朝着共同的目标努力。我们分享智慧，克服了预期和意外的挑战，并共同庆祝成功。在这过程中，我们互相学习。
Here you can say we have 5 Chinese. I have 5 Chinese mentees: Yang Zhengqiang, and Hong Tao, Dou Weizhong, Cao Jiawei, Wang Zhe. And for 4 out of 21 mentees, I've awarded a certificate and a certain amount of money. Looking back, I've noticed that these 4 mentees experienced a significant boost in their achievement, exceeding others by a factor of +2 alpha or more, and they let me understand of the true meaning of Chinese idiom of Qing Chu Wiran, starting from Dr. Cao Jiawei. So before him, I didn't know the meaning of Qing Chu Wiran, but after I met him, it was very strange. He was better than I am at 2 years. That's why I have thought for 2 months, what happened? How he could make it. That's why I really, really happy. I still vividly remember how happy I was. So I decided to give money. Because sometimes if I give money, it's discouraging the other guys. So I asked all my mentees, it's okay to give money. And the certificate, this is certificate, Qing Chu Wiran. Everybody said yes. That's why Dr. Chow was my first mentee with the certificate. Before that, I didn't understand the meaning of Qing Chu Wiran.
对于21名学生中的4人，我颁发了证书和一定金额的奖金。回想起来，我注意到这4个人的成绩显著提高，通常超过其他学生的表现，超过+2阿尔法或更多。从乔家伟博士开始，让我想起了中国成语“青出于蓝”的真正含义。
Okay, so you know Dr. Chow, right? And then he is joining our Translational Research program. And this is a doctor of rehabilitation, not interventional radiology. I will invite him in our program someday. And Park, everybody knows Dr. Park. He was a radiation technologist, but he received a PhD under myself, and he became a professor. Amazing. So also I will invite him to our program. This is Nether. He is from Egypt. He is a GI physician, not interventional radiologist. So you can see a doctor of rehabilitation, PhD, is interventional radiologist. So it's good to have a collaboration. And he's going to give a talk at SNG TMC next month in July. You can see he moved to the United States And then he wrote a lot of papers. His dream was to go to the UK, but I told him, don't go to the UK. You can go to the United States. So he changed his mind. I gave him a recommendation letter to everywhere in the United States. Now he became a professor at Mayo Clinic. So it's a kind of a history for Egyptians. That's why we can make it. It is not that difficult. I have sent many of my mentees to the United States. They are professors in different areas in the United States. Okay, as you know, over the past 12 months, I have mentored 46 mentees through the薪火相传mentoring program. My mentoring journey here has been a mix of ups and downs. I will show you.
在过去的12个月里，我在郑州通过薪火相传 mentoring program 指导了46名学员。在这里的导师之旅跌宕起伏。
So 13 of my 46 mentees became my mentee. I'd like to name Professor Li Hailiang. You know why I chose him my mentee? And Chen Xuejun, and Hu Hongtao, Qi Jinrong, Bai Weixing, He Yinkun, Yuan Hang, and Zheng Bingjie, Xu Shizhen, and Chen Yao, Guan Weiwei, Zhang Weizheng, and Ling Jia. They are my mentee. So they are indeed my treasure, who have shared dreams and challenges. Whenever I was disappointed due to the such as traffic jam or messy road on the way to work, I was able to overcome difficulties by remembering them. You know, this is just in front of Henan Han's hospital. So sometimes I couldn't walk because messy and also dirty road. So every time I met such kind of difficulties, I think about my mentees. That's why that kind of relationship is very important. I thank you very much.
46名学员中有13位已经成为了我的导师，他们分别是李海亮教授、陈学军教授、胡洪涛教授、曲金荣教授、白卫星教授、贺银坤教授、袁航医生、郑斌杰医生、许世军博士、陈瑶医生、管维维老师、张卫征老师和梁佳博士。他们的确是我的宝藏，与我分享了梦想和挑战。每当我遇到失望，比如上班路上的交通拥堵或混乱的道路，我都能通过想着他们来克服困难。他们一直是我的治愈者和希望的源泉。
Okay, before my retirement life, 5 out of the 13 mentees, I would like to award a certificate and 2,000 Chinese yuan because their achievement exceeded by a factor of +2 alpha or more. Actually, Professor Hu was my mentee, but I didn't give him certificate. But here, for the past 1 year, he has contributed greatly to our mentoring program. That's why I want to give him a certificate. I hope and believe that the other mentees will become my mentees with the certificate within the next 4 years. I'd like to read the example of Dr. Yuanang. This one. I wrote this certificate by myself. I think about it so many times when I gave it to Dr. Chao Jiawei, but it is different from person to person. This is certified that Dr. Yuanang has reached an unprecedented high level in leading the Authorship Conference and writing scientific manuscript. I'm excited joyful and grateful to see your achievement. I will not forget your enthusiasm, determination, and tenacity, which allowed me to overcome the sweat and tears of the past years. I hope that your humility will guide you in sharing your experiences with others. Anyway, I am very lucky to have this kind of mentees with a certificate.
对于13名 Mentees 中的5名，袁航医生、郑斌杰医生、徐世军博士、梁佳博士和胡洪涛教授，我想授予证书和2000人民币，因为他们的成就超过了+2或更多。例如，这是给袁航医生的证书，我将它念给大家听。这是证明袁航医生在领导 Authorship Conference 和撰写科学论文手稿方面已经达到了前所未有的高水平。看到你的成就，我感到兴奋、高兴和感激。我不会忘记你的热情、决心和坚韧，它们使我能够克服过去1年的汗水和眼泪。我希望你的谦逊会引导你与他人分享你的经验。2023年12月27日，我希望并相信其他的 Mentee 也将在接下来的4年内获得 Mentee 资格和证书。
So you know that we have 6 missions. The last mission is publication of books. So here are tentative titles of the book: Guiding Light, The Power and Impact of Xinhuo Xiangchuan Mentoring Program. The second one is the Xinhuo Xiangchuan Mentoring Program, Why and How. As for the list of authors and chapters, I will extend the opportunity to individuals who become my mentees. So everybody, also I'm waiting other mentees, so I will give this opportunity to write a book.
关于最后的任务，出版图书，这里有2个暂定的书名：指路明灯、薪火相传 Mentoring Program 的力量与影响和薪火相传 Mentoring Program 为什么以及如何。关于作者和章节的名单，我将为成为我的 Mentees 的人提供机会。
So it's easy because we have already finished writing a book. So I am planning to publish the book 4 years from now, not this year, 4 years from now. And you can find the samples of chapters I shared with all of you earlier. You remember I gave each of you this book. You can look at the chapter 5. There is a section, what I have learned from the research and authorship conference with Professor Song. So title will be different, but chapter. So you can design what I can write. For example, Dr. Yuanang can write a chapter, what I have learned through the leading the authorship conference or something like that. So you can just look at their chapter.
我计划在4年后出版这本书。您可以找到我之前与大家分享的章节样本。我会随时更新这个想法的进展。如果您有任何想法或意见，请随时联系我。
So while I anticipate that we might face various challenges in the future, we can overcome them through two-way communication and mutual cooperation. I believe that we can make it. By doing so, we will wholeheartedly committed to achieving our ambitious missions until the Xinhuo Xiangchuan Mentoring Program not only offers each mentee the thrill of discovery, but also cultivate a deep collaborative culture with our community. I envision our Xinhuo Xiangchuan Mentoring Program as a place where individual joys and challenges are embraced collectively, bringing us closer to our noble destination.
尽管我预见到我们未来可能会面临各种挑战，但我有信心通过双向沟通和相互合作来克服它们。通过这样做，我们将全身心投入到实现我们雄心勃勃的使命中，直到薪火相传 Mentee Program 不仅为每位学员带来探索的乐趣，而且在我们的共同体内培养深刻的协作文化。我设想，我们的薪火相传 Mentee Program 将成为一个个体的欢乐和挑战并共同拥抱的地方，使我们更接近我们崇高的目标。
Okay, Dr. Yuanang, please come here. Come. And please, I will ask them to give a acceptance speech for 1 minute. You can take a picture. Okay. And then use the microphone for 1 minute.
Thank you, Professor Song. First, I'm very honored to be here to get this certificate from Professor Song. And first, I'd like to express my gratitude for Professor Li Hailiang and Professor Hu Hongtao for inviting Professor Song come to Zhengzhou to teach us. And I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Song for supporting me and encouraging me in the past year, and also give me the opportunity to lead the Authorship Conference and the Translational Medicine Research Conference. For the past year, I have gained a lot. Like I improved my English proficiency and improved my scientific English paper writing skills. And I think this year's experience should be the milestone during my following academic career. Also, thank you, Professor Song. Thank you.
Actually, I will send the certificate to everybody through WeChat because I thought I can make a plaque. But Dr. Yuanang said that if a plaque is difficult to handle, it's better to send it. So I will send it. Every certificate is different. Okay?
袁航医生，请来到讲台。您能否发表1分钟的获奖感言？我将通过微信将证书发送给你。
Okay, and 郑秉介。This was a very important career.
Uh, 5 years ago, when I was a visiting scholar in University of Pittsburgh Medical Center in America, I can remember that it was so painful stage at that time because I'm struggling with my MD project and thesis. And I asked the boss in UPMC, he's also a radiologist and a very excellent scholar from Korea, and Dr. Bei. I asked him that what should I do and what does a the doctor need if he want to achieve some medical he can achieve some medical academic reward or academic stage. And he told me that there are two crucial elements. The first one is you need a real mentor, and the second, you need to be in a team. And I asked him, will you be my mentor? He said, I want to, but I'm too busy, because I know that he is develop a company and manage the company. So maybe he didn't have enough time to mentor the foreigner scholar like me. And for the next several years, I kept on searching about the mentor. And fortunately, Professor Song showed up at the last year. And I can remember that it was also the lowest point of my career. And I was so lucky to meet you, because it was when I was 37 years old, and not too young, but not too old. And also we have 23 years old left to study with you. And for the past 1 year, as Professor Song told us, teaching is the best way of learning. So for the last year, I kept on learning English and for the presentation session. I also want to thank all the members in our team. If someday I can meet my boss in Pittsburgh, I would told him that now I have a wonderful mentor and also a wonderful team. Thank you.
Also, if you have any question, please don't hesitate. Any questions for Dr. Zheng Bingjie? No? And then Dr. Xu Shijun. I like the purpose taken by you. It's practically Zhao Yang.
Okay, it's my great honor to obtain this award today. I'm very happy because I got the recognition from Professor Song. Thank you very much for Professor Song's teaching and sharing. Thank you for Professor Li and Professor Hu's supporting and encouragement. And also thanks for all of the colleagues in help and cooperation. These are the reasons that made what I am now. So I'm very appreciated. By the way, I don't think I'm good enough to be your mentee because I'm a PhD. I'm not, but I don't know about the clinical work and like the image diagnosis. But through this platform, I now can distinguish the TACE, the RFN, and many other interventional procedures, and also to can distinguish some tumor images. So it's a very good opportunity for me to learn all of these things. In this way, I will continue to do my best to learn from you and to do my best to sharing my opinions about the basic research, also the found application. I think by this kind of collaboration, we will have a brilliant future and achieve many achievements in the future. Thank you.
Dr. Shi, I have a question.
Yeah.
To be honest, Dr. Shi Shijun's curve in the beginning, her curve, learning curve was like this. But suddenly, I don't know, in certain point, she changed her mind, attitude, and like this. Do you agree with my opinion?
Somehow, I think, because I think attitude is very important. At the beginning, I was just want to explain my feelings, but in some way, I think I can combine all the others' opinions together to improve my levels or learning some new things. So I just, like you said, open mind and abstract all of things together and then try to get something from any questions or any comments.
That is very important. So I have considered so many issues in selecting my mentees because mentees is my treasure. So I am very, very curious what personality can be my mentee. And then also I have learned a lot through Dr. Shi Shijun because the other guys cover like this, Zheng Bingjie, also Yuanang like this, Feng Tao, but Shi Shijun like this one, and suddenly I guarantee your improvement will be best among my mentees.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
So very proactive after that. So in certain point, you can change your mind like her. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dr. Liang Jia from Honan Romani.
Thank you very much. It's my great honor to have this speech here. Just as Professor Song says, 1 year passed so fast, and I can still remember at the beginning of this year, I start to attend this Authorship Conference meeting, and at that time, I know how this meeting is scheduled and ask Dr. Yuan Heng and Professor Song to give me an opportunity to join it and to have a chance to show my manuscript edit here. And later, after a few months, it is an opportunity to have a chance to have our own meeting in Henan People's Hospital. So we did our own authorship conference in our hospital start, and after a few months, I did my first authorship, and few days before I get my paper accept. So I'm very, it's far more than my expect to attend this meeting. And also today I have an opportunity to have this certificate. So I would like to show my thanks to Professor Song and Professor Hu Hongtao, Li Hailiang, and all of you attendees, and also for my team, Professor Li Tianxiao and He Yingkun, also He Yanyan. Without their support, I can't have this achieved. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Dr. Liang Jia is like Dr. Yuanang in Honan Renmin. She is the leader of Authorship Conference. Together with Professor Bai Weixing, she contributes greatly to the mentoring program in Honan Renmin. It's amazing. That's why thanks to her contribution, and the meeting is becoming better and better. Finally, Professor Hu Hongtao.
Actually, I'm very excited to accept this kind of honor. 4 years ago, I have a dream because just Professor Song introduced Professor Cao Jiawei, Nader, and Professor Kim and Professor Jun. They have been get this kind of certification in Korea. At that time, I have a dream to accept this kind of, but until I finish my PhD degree, so I haven't get this kind of chance. But nowadays I get. Second is as you know, I have been go to Korea for 2 times and 3 times, and over time is more than 3 years. During all of this time, Professor Song support me, including the experiment and my life. That's a big money. So until now, he do many works for us, but he still gives so much money to how to say, to support us. And I think maybe we can do more works. Just like the other 4 guys, I think I do less works than them because they're young and beautiful, but I'm a little old. So during the future, I will supervise you not to do the effort. So I hope everyone can to be the other guys, and maybe next year I will follow with Professor Song. I also support some guys by using myself's money. This year, all of the money is supported by Professor Song himself. Thank you, Professor.
Without Professor Hu's contribution and passion, this would not have been possible. I know how difficult it is to manage this kind of mentoring program as a chairman, but thank you so much for your support. And then I believe that everybody can be my mentee within 4 years. So I already have saved money for 41 people. So I am waiting for everybody to be my mentee. So this is a time for Q&A session. Okay. Before I give some issue, any questions or comment for mentoring program or for everything? This is the last day of mentoring program of this year. We are going to have 1 month vacation. So during the vacation, you can catch up. Also, you can build up some friendship. Any questions? Okay. Well.
Thank you, Professor Song. I think I agree with Professor Chen Xuejun. He said we can add feedback.
Yes.
Yeah. And at the Authorship Conference, as we know, it's not easy to accept by the journal just one time. Maybe some manuscript need review sometime. So if the young doctor they write they upset the manuscript, but sometimes they need review it. But sometimes he or she will meet difficult to finish it. So I think we can add some time at the authorship conference.
Yes,
So
good
we are a team to help him to let the manuscript accepted by the journal.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Yuanang, you understand. That's why Dr. Yuanang is leading the authorship conference as the leader, and he confirmed that he promised that he will have 4 to 6 Mentee within a year. So as I talked to you before, it's a good idea to review the rejected paper because we can understand the reviewer's comment. Okay, so once it's okay, but fortunately 2 papers were accepted by High Impact Tech Journal last year. So I'd like to see the curve. This year is okay, 2 papers. Next year, 4 or 6. But we have to know why this manuscript was rejected. That's why review of the rejected paper is very important. So Dr. Yu, I talked to him already. Okay? Thank you. That is a good idea. Any other questions or comments? No? If not, regarding the publication of a book, so this is my first time to make our blue point, what I am going to do. But within a year, I reviewed my 6 missions, including the last mission. This is a publication of books. Why I want to write a book. I have written a total of 6 books in my life. So, this one, you know that this one was accepted as the best book in Korea. So the government chose this book. So the government bought a lot of books and displayed in the library in Korea. That's good. That's why I started writing this book when I stayed in the UK. And then I asked Dr. Chao Jia-wei and also Dr. Wok. He is also one of my mentees. So we wrote this book together with the 3 people. And I invited 10 mentees, including Professor Huong Tao. So all of my mentees are the chapter author. So I want to write my history about our mentoring program in Zhengzhou. You can see that 10 years or 40 years, like 2052, we are going to end the program, right? So you can understand why it is important. So we needed some data. We needed some history. That's why every time I want to recording. That's why from time to time I review the recording. So this book, there are 2 options. One was that one of my published book was written by the US, Springer, and the other in Korean. And also this was written in Korea. So I can negotiate with the Springer, but I prefer Korean publisher because if you give an idea or book to the American or European publisher, you can get 5% of incentive or 6%, but they don't support it fully because they change it into the ebook. But I trust this company, publisher in Korea. So they want me to write a book. They will give some incentive. Also, they gave them 20% of sales price. It's amazing. I didn't give any money to them. But in China, I know that you have to give money to the publisher. In Korea, many people do, but I don't, because they need my idea. That's why they wanted me to write as many books as possible, but I don't like to write many books. But anyway, within 5 years, I'm going to write this book. I'll distribute the incentive to even it to the authors. That's what I want to say. Any questions or comment regarding this one? No? Dong Bingjie, do you have any question? regarding our sixth mission, publication of books.
I don't have any question about the sixth mission of our mentoring program and our book, but I always have a question to ask you. That is, we all want to know that how you organize and file your personal data, like the photos or the conference records, and
I save it into my computer.
And
also,
how to manage them?
You know, regarding this mentoring program, from the beginning, we used a small screen, right?
Yeah.
So I have that kind of picture on it. After that, when I sit it behind, I couldn't see the screen because of the head of the front guys. That's why I asked Professor Chen Xuejun to use this screen. But even though the screen was bigger than before, we used we need higher. So I didn't have any problem. So anything I wrote down, saved into my computer. That's why I still remember that problem. Same thing. Probably you don't have time to review our mentoring program. From time to time, I review the recording. That's why Chen Xuejun, it was excellent. I listened to his lecture several times because I've learned a lot through you. How you could make it. So I was happy to witness his progress from 70% to 95%. Everybody can make it. So anyway, I can give you time for questions, the other things regarding today's one. And if you don't have any questions, and then probably this is very important. Global networking is very, very important to build up friends inside, outside. When our team go abroad for lectures, they treat us, and we can just pay airfare. I mentioned this one before. They will treat accommodation, including hotel, and also honorarium. And then we can go sightseeing. That is wonderful. I will keep you updated regarding the international affiliated department program. But first of all, please try to give a best lecture. Without good lectures, it's not possible to give a lecture trip. So I will select the best lecturer to go this one.
全球网络
Okay, so this is also important. As I mentioned before, miscommunication is the obstacle. So miscommunication can stem from four main sources. Probably you remember some of them, but I updated it. The first one is a language barrier. Professor Chen Xuejun, in the beginning, 70% he understood me, but he tried to learn from my attitude. Also, he was, every time, he has never missed this mentoring program. So if you miss the mentoring program many times, it's impossible. So Wu Gang and Ding Xiaorong, I know every time they attend this meeting, so I can see your bright future. 你的将来很好，为什么？你每次参加这个会议非常重要。Okay, and then second part, disparities in cultural customs and habit, a lack of two-way communication. This is bidirectional communication. It belongs to Dr. Shi Shijun. I couldn't find any bidirectional communication with her before that curve. After that, I could find the bidirectional communication. Probably she changed her attitude, but everybody can learn how she made it. That is very important point. And the consequences of miscommunication can pose significant obstacles to excelling in one's career and academic growth. So if you want to grow, you should be open-minded, as Dr. Shishijun. That is very important. First thing to do. So if you think of yourself, there is a limitation in learning. You can open mind to learn from everybody, right? That is key point. That's why Dr. Shishijun realized the importance thing. Anyway, try to find if there is any miscommunication within yourself.
在我看来，沟通不畅可能源自4个主要原因：语言障碍、文化习俗和习惯的差异、双向交流的不足，以及未能回顾先前的讨论。沟通不畅的后果可能对一个人的事业和学术成长构成重大障碍。
You can see multilingualism. You probably some of you remember this one, but I update. I don't use the same slide every time I update. So you can see there are lots of advantages and description, the advantages of multilingualism. You know the definition of multilingualism. The person who speaks 2 languages is multilingualism. So you can speak Chinese and English. So you are multilingualist, actually. So the advantages are great for traveling, of course. It is very important. And second one, increase the career opportunities. Everybody believe that many people respect me because I can speak 6 languages. But it is not that difficult. You can make it. Why? You can make some opportunity. For example, another advantage is that delayed the onset of Alzheimer's disease. I agree with this opinion. In China, I know that in China, many people speak 2 languages. One is direct. The other is Putonghua. That is multilingualism, actually. And then it's good to prevent Alzheimer's. So I want to know the data of Alzheimer's in China. Probably it will be less than Korea because Koreans speak just 1 language. Americans speak just 1 language. And then if you add 1 more language, you can speak 3 languages. It's good. It's scientifically, it was proven that if you learn 2 languages, the onset of Alzheimer's is 4.5 years. It's scientific. So that is important. So in my perspective, there were other 2 language advantages. For example, learning a new language is always humbling because I respect all Chinese people because their Chinese is better than mine. I want to learn from them. And also it gave me opportunities to build new mentorship and friendship. Any place where enthusiastic mentors and friends are feels like home to me.
我希望大家都能通过薪火相传 Mentee Program 尝试学习英语和另一门语言。有很多报告描述了多语言的好处，例如它非常适合旅行，它增加了职业机会，它延缓了阿尔兹海默症的发作。回顾起来，对我来说最重要的2个好处是，学习一门新语言总是令人感到谦卑。它为我提供了建立新的导师关系和友谊的机会。在学习外语的过程中，我能够与我的学术生涯中的许多人建立坚固的导师关系。这里有22位导师，学习英语的有6位，学习日语的有4位，学习西班牙语的有4位，学习阿拉伯语的有2位，学习中文的有6位。任何有充满热情的导师和朋友的地方，对我来说都感觉像家一样。我就像一只蝴蝶一样，献身于人类的氛围和本质。
As you know, I started learning Chinese regularly. That was Dr. Bai Wei-Sing. He taught me twice a week. That's why at the time I wrote a notebook. Okay, so I have 6 mentors in learning Chinese. Recently, Dr. Yuanang and Guan Weiwei, they are my mentors. That's why today I tried to speak in Chinese. But even though I have some problem, I can improve because you know that first I translate my English sheet in Chinese using ChatGPT and then send it to Dr. Yuanang. And Dr. Yuanang revised it into Chinese, check it, and then ask Ms. Guan Weiwei to record it. And sometimes, if it is a medical term, Dr. Yuanang can record it. So that is very important for me. So from time to time, we have the Tongxin meeting because, you know, they taught me. So they corrected my pronunciation. That's why many people say that how you can make that kind of a Chinese pronunciation. So every time I said I have mentors in China, Guan Weiwei and Yuanang, they are mentors. Here you can see, sometimes I ask Dr. Yuanang to pronounce the Z sound like 辗转反侧，辗转反侧不如入眠，不可以入眠，但信可以破裂，直到习惯破裂。OK， 辗转反侧。OK， so that was different. 辗转仍然，because the pronunciation was different. So Dr. Yuanang gave me how to pronounce. So I am struggling, but I can make it within 3 years. Also, you can after that.
在告别晚会上，李天晓教授和李海亮教授请我退休后来郑州继续担任教授教学。我的回答是不，我不想。有2个原因，一个是严重的空气污染，另一个是你们团队的英语水平不足以沟通。李海亮教授回答说，5年后空气污染会好得多。从明天开始，我将去英语学校学英语，所以请您退休后回到这里。
Okay, I listened to Guan Weiwei's recording so many times to mimic. That's why it was possible for me to give a talk in Chinese in Nanjing. Wukang, you listen to my lecture in China, in Nanjing? Okay, you can give your impression. Probably the lecture is better than today's, right? 用中国话，你可以说你的印象对我的演讲在南京。用中国话。
哦，在南京开会的时候，宋教授整个全场都是用中文来演讲的，发音非常准确，非常好，而且令很多中国的同道都感到很吃惊。然后等于是韩国，然后说等于韩语嘛，能英语不是用英语发言，而用中文发言，让大家感觉到更加亲切。
Okay. Anyway, I'd like to thank Dr. Yuanang and Guan Weiwei. Thank you so much. So I'm happy because they are my teacher, Chinese teacher. Also, I teach them the English. So this kind of relationship is very, very important. Okay. So any last question? No? 你有问题 ？OK， 白微信。
Frankly, from your slides today, you look like that you find your successors for each part of the mentoring program,
Yes, okay,
including
yeah.
6 aspects.
Mm.
So are you going to leave next year?
No,
Thank you.
because the mission 5 and mission 6 and particularly mission 3, translational research, it takes time. So this is just the beginning. We can make it bigger pie. You can see next year it will be much better than this year. 4 years it will be much better. But anyway, fortunately I could make a figure of mission 6, so everybody knows where we are going together, right? So we know our direction together. Sometimes I go this direction, Yuan go this direction, but that's not good. We go the same direction. Okay, thank you. Wrap it up.